Episode 7 of The Mandalorian Season 3 is here, and finally we are back on track. That episode was amazing. And we of course are breaking it down right now, so smash a like on this video and spoiler alert! What's up guys, it's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. We are breaking down Episode 7 of The Mandalorian Season 3. As always, rank this episode out of 10 in the comment section below. I will tell you my ranking after we break down the episode. So this episode opens on Coruscant. It is nighttime and we see Elia Kane going into a back alley in one of the lower levels of Coruscant. She is having a meeting with a probe droid that scans her face, and then a hologram shows up of Moff Gideon. Now this season has alluded to Moff Gideon a lot, but this is actually the first time we get to see him. Elia warns Moff Gideon about the Mandalorian attack on Navarro, that Din and Bo are now working together. Gideon is in disbelief, seeing how both of those factions of Mandalorians have been at odds for years now. But Elia Kane goes away and we cut to where Moff Gideon actually is, and we see the red ray shields very similar to the ones that we saw at the end of The Phantom Menace when Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan are going to fight Darth Maul. A door opens and we see Moff Gideon continue to walk through another room where he is surrounded by Bacta tanks, which we can assume are going to be creating Supreme Leader Snoke. But he finally walks into a room with a bunch of holograms around him, and this is the Shadow Council. This confirms many fans' beliefs that the Empire is not gone and they are actually a united front in the shadows in this Shadow Council. This group of warlords or higher-ups that were from the Empire are in charge of what the remnant of the Empire is until Grand Admiral Thrawn returns. Their job is to lay low, rebuild, until they're strong enough to take the galaxy over again. One of the holograms begins to speak. It is Captain Palarion, and he says that Thrawn will return and help them with a new military, and give Commandant Hux enough time to deliver Project Necromancer. Now all we can do right now is speculate what Project Necromancer is, but I'm sure you recognize the name Commandant Hux. Now this is not General Hux from the sequel trilogy, this is actually his father. Gideon chimes in on the conversation, saying that Thrawn is nowhere to be seen, and we've been talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn's great return for so long now, and he is nowhere. And quite frankly, Moff Gideon is sick and tired of waiting for him, and he says there should be some new leadership around here. The problem is the Shadow Council's resources are very limited, and Moff Gideon actually requested for reinforcements and 3 Praetorian guards because he knows the Mandalorians are coming back to their home planet of Mandalore to reclaim it, and that is where Moff Gideon's base is, on Mandalore. And yes, the 3 Praetorian guards that we see later on in the episode confirm the rumors that we heard a long time ago about Praetorian guards with Mandalorian-looking armor showing up in the 3rd season of this show. But we then cut to the title sequence, and the title of this episode is The Spies. And I thought that was very interesting because this entire episode we don't see a single spy. Or did we? Whoever the spies are, they were not revealed in this episode. So could one or even multiple Mandalorians that are working with Din and Bo be spies for Gideon? And who could it possibly be? Axe Wolves or even the Armorer?
I'm the spy.
What? You?
We then cut to Navarro, where the fleet that Bo-Katan has reclaimed in the last episode is showing up to the Mandalorian settlement on Navarro. Greef Karga also sees this and goes to welcome Din Djarin back and give him a gift. And that gift is in the form of IG-11, now known as IG-12 because the Anzellans took out all the inner mechanics of IG-11 and now he has to be controlled by a living being inside of the chest. This isn't really a gift for Din Djarin, it's more a gift for Grogu. Now this IG-11 Iron Man suit type thing was rumored a long time ago for this 3rd season. So long ago that I actually forgot about it, and when it showed up I was like, holy crap, yes. And here we are, Grogu is walking around in IG-12 and can actually speak to Din Djarin because the only 2 words he can say is yes and no. Din Djarin is unhappy about this decision. He does not want IG-12 to be a thing with Grogu. He thinks he'll be in more danger than he already is, but Grogu insists, and of course Grogu wins the argument. They then go back to the Mandalorian settlement where Bo is explaining her plan. they're going to go retake Mandalore with the entire fleet, but the fleet is going to remain in orbit outside of the atmosphere because they don't know if it's going to be safe on the surface to land and if there's creatures around that are just going to kill them immediately. So first they're going to send down a welcoming party which consists of Din Djarin, Grogu, Bo-Katan, Paz Vizsla, the Armorer, Axe Wolf, Koska Reeves, and other Mandalorians. And they are going to clear an area that's going to be safe for them to land the fleet. And when they land on the surface, they are looking for the Great Forge, where Axe Wolf and Koska Reeves actually grew up. And while they are walking across the surface of Mandalore, they come across what looks to be a pirate ship, but there are Mandalorians on board. Now these Mandalorians have survived the entire time on Mandalore, barely scraping by, barely having enough food, and many of their people dying. So the Armorer has the great idea to take all the sick and wounded up to the fleet to get medical attention and food. Also, that takes the Armorer out of the equation when they get captured by Moff Gideon later on in the episode.
I'm the spy.
What? You?
And all the other Mandalorians continue their quest to the Great Forge. And while they are on this pirate ship on their way to the Great Forge, there is some sort of chess match going on between Paz Vizsla and Axe Wolves, and there becomes an argument, which leads to a all-out brawl, which neither Din Djarin nor Bo-Katan can step in because one would be favoring one side or the other, so Grogu is inevitably the one who steps in and says, no. No, 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 no. Could this possibly be foreshadowing Grogu being the one who could tie all these Mandalorians together and not have a bias towards either side? When they're finally about to arrive at the Great Forge, they get attacked by this giant monster. Now, a lot of people believe that this was the Mythosaur, but it is not. But regardless, all the Mandalorians are forced underground, which is technically where they wanted to be because they are looking for the Great Forge. And they finally come across this Great Forge where they are attacked by Imperial Mandalorians. Now these Imperials look like they have a cross between Clan Saxon's Beskar armor and Stormtrooper armor. But after a short little battle on this cliff, the Imperial troopers begin to retreat. Thinking they have the upper hand, Din Djarin and the other Mandalorians quickly chase after the Imperials. But before long, they find themselves in an Imperial base trapped between two reinforced walls, except for Din Djarin, who is trapped on the outside of those walls with the Imperial troopers around him. Din Djarin gets captured when Moff Gideon shows up in Dark Trooper armor with a Mandalorian helmet on with spikes on it. Very similar to the Mandalorian armor and also similar to the Armorer's armor. Gideon explains that he's in the next generation of Dark Trooper armor, which can actually house people in it, a lot like IG-11 was just a droid before, and now he can have Grogu inside of it. The Dark Troopers were just droids before, and now Moff Gideon can be housed inside the armor. He tells his troopers to take Din Djarin away for questioning when Bo-Katan takes out her Darksaber and goes to the back wall away from Moff Gideon and begins to cut a hole in the reinforced door so that they can all escape. The Imperial troopers open the other reinforced door as Paz Vizsla protects everybody as they escape. Moff Gideon flies away, and I quickly noticed that Bo-Katan cut a hole that was clearly not big enough to fit Paz Vizsla. There's this awesome sequence where Paz Vizsla destroys all of the Imperial Mandalorians, but 3 Praetorian guards come out of the back and kill Paz Vizsla. Now, if I were to rank this episode out of 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was a huge step up from what we have seen so far through this season. The Praetorian Guards setting up possibly the Armorer being a spy, setting up an Imperial base on Mandalore, setting up an amazing finale for this show, and of course, setting up Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Ahsoka show as well, while also connecting to the sequel trilogy in minor ways so that people who aren't fans of the sequel trilogy aren't that upset, and people who are fans of the sequel trilogy are excited as well. The action was great, the story was great, and the setup for a finale was fantastic. But tell me what you thought about this episode in the comments section below. Rank it out of 10 if you have not yet. Smash a like on this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. The Mandalorian really stepped up its game this week, and I believe that even next week we'll step it up even further and we'll get an amazing finale to this 3rd season that will also lead into the Ahsoka show and a 4th season for The Mandalorian. And if you want more videos like this, leaks and rumor videos, and of course, 3 live streams every week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, all at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, stick around this channel by hitting that subscribe, and may the force be with you, always.